Welcome back to In the Gig. As we do each and every week, it's time to head across the ditch to Michael Guerin, who of course is part of the team. And Michael, I don't know whether we saw the real Spankum on the weekend, but we saw mighty close, and suddenly you start to push that name back up when it comes to the New Zealand Cup.
You sure do, Ben. Good evening to you. A big hi to all your viewers around Australia. That's a version of Spankum winning on the grass at Methven on Sunday I'd never seen before. He's always been a good horse. Of course, he's won a Miracle Mile, but he's tended to be a good horse on the speed. Coming from near last in a 55-second 800 metres on the grass to go straight past Self Assured, something that I don't think too many people are expecting, and it's changed the dynamic of the New Zealand Cup betting, because in the last couple of weeks or even months, we've thought that the best version of Self Assured, if he stepped, probably couldn't lose the Cup, and if he could lose, it would only be Copy That. Spankum all of a sudden has said he'll need to do more than step. He'll need to perform to his absolute best. A forgotten horse. He's only raced now twice since finishing second in the Cup last year, and of course we're hearing the horse who beat him in the Cup last year, the defending champion Cruz Bromac, is not coming back. Spankum a far more serious New Zealand Cup chance than maybe we imagined a month ago.
You very rarely see them put in a performance like that on the grass track surface, as you alluded to, Mick. It was very impressive indeed. Another who impressed and was back to the winner's circle was Copy That last week. And we're speaking of those that are favoured in this New Zealand Cup market. Did he do enough on Friday night to give his backers a little more surety as we head towards that second Tuesday in November?
I thought he was good without being great, Britt, and it's really easy to forget. Of course, he's only a 4-year-old. If he was racing in Australia, he'd be a 3-year-old. He'd be eligible for the Breeders' Crown. So maybe we're expecting too much from him. The time was very good, overcoming a 30-metre handicap in the Holmes DG. But when you saw the race on Sunday, retrospectively looking back to Friday, I think there was a lot more wow about Spankum than there was about Copy That. We're going to know a lot more in 13 days' time. That's the Ashburton Flying Stakes, where we expect Spankum, Self Assured and Copy That to turn up in the same race, and potentially also Mark Shard. So the 4 favourites for the Cup now likely to go head-to-head on what's New Zealand's Monday Labour Day. That's going to be a huge determinant of the pecking order for the Cup on November the 10th.
G'day Mick, just back on Spankum. I know that was on grass. Can some horses handle grass better than others? Because looking at that replay, Spankum nearly has to be the favourite for the New Zealand Cup. To give Self Assured that much of a start and then to really reel him in was unbelievable, really.
Well, he's an older horse now, Gareth, and he's been through a Grand Circuit preparation. So you're right, he probably wasn't affected by it as much as Self Assured. He just went rough a couple of times at the top of the straight. But let's not forget punters, those checking out tab.com.au. Self Assured's going to be off the unruly, potentially in the New Zealand Cup. He might be shoe on the other foot. He might be giving Spankum 5 or 10 lengths in the New Zealand Cup. And looking back at that race, it's really hard to see how he could do that. I do think Ashburton will determine a lot about A, whether he stays on the unruly, or B, whether there's a change at the top of the market. But with a couple of horses coming out, Cruz Bromac we mentioned, Star Galleria not going there now, I think most punters are down to 3, potentially 4 they think can win the Cup. I think that market's going to change a lot more after that Labour Day race, and then we have a Cup trial coming up at Addington too. So the horses, the open class stars, having a week off this week. The 3-year-olds back on the track for the Trotters and the Pacers. The other big name last week in New Zealand was Bolt for Brilliance. Now I know we were all thrilled to see Pink Galahs beating the older Trotters at Melton last week. Well, I think Bolt for Brilliance, who would be 3 in Australia, would give those horses something to think about as well. So these young trotters, this crop, looking very strong on both sides of the Tasman.
And also love the performances of Amazing Dream and Krug. So when do we see those talented young horses again, Michael?
Yeah, they'll all be named for Cup Day now, and because they won last Thursday at Addington, Amazing Dream, fresh back from Queensland, hell of a performance because she beat an in-form horse when Mark Purdon thought she might need a run. That qualified her for the delayed 3-year-old final at Addington. Was supposed to be held last autumn, couldn't be because of COVID. She heads to Cup Day next as pretty much an open class horse. Krug was dynamic again, and he's now the red hot favourite for the 3-year-old sire stakes. Of course, it wasn't that long ago he was racing in the 2-year-old sire stakes. So we're used to Cup Day having the Cup, the free-for-all, and of course the 3-year-old boys. We're also going to have that 3-year-old fillies final for the now 4-year-old mares. And news coming out of New South Wales today that Tough Monarch is likely to come back to New Zealand for the Cup meeting to defend that free-for-all title he won last year. So things are shaping really nicely, guys. A lot more depth coming into Cup Day after the strange old winter we've all been through.
It's intriguing, isn't it? We need to go, Michael, but I'm sure some of our viewers are wondering what the hell that trophy is behind you. So quick plug and then we'll say goodbye.
Mate, I'm at Te Rapa. This is the trophy that Avantage won. This is the Valachi Downs Foxbridge Plate. Avantage won that about a month ago here. So on the racetrack today, looking at the breeze-ups for the ready-to-run sales. Always a great day when you get to be around the beautiful young horses.
Absolutely fantastic. Enjoy, mate. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much to Mick Guerin. We're going to head off to a break. When we get back, not all heroes wear capes.